because we're not going to be on.
Hello and welcome to our City of Buena Park Small Business Emergency Relief Grant Program informational webinar. A little housekeeping before we begin. Everyone is muted during the webinar. All webinars are recorded and sent to all attendees after the webinar has concluded, along with a PDF copy of the slides. There will be Q&A at the end of the presentation today, but please feel free to ask questions during the webinar by clicking on the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. Once the presentation concludes, I will ask the questions presented in the Q&A box. I may not get to everyone's questions, but we will do our best. If we don't get to your questions, please call 800-616-7232. I will also put this number in the chat box. Over to you, Jim.
Thank you, Hannah, so much. Jim Vanderpool, City Manager for the City of Buena Park. And I really want to thank SBDC for helping the city implement this program. As all of you know, and I hope you know, how important small business is to the vitality of our city. Business is really what creates our thriving local economy, and it's always been a big part of the mayor and city council's priorities. And now more than ever, that is true. We're worried about our small businesses. We're here for you. As City Hall slowly began to open last week, we had an influx of a number of contractors, architects come in to really get some of business going back in Buena Park. And for that, we're very grateful to welcome business back into our city. That said, we do want to be very cautious and careful about how we do this following federal, state, and local county guidelines. That said, we are elated to present this program to our small business community. The mayor and the city council is anxious to get this help out into our community. Unfortunately, it is a limited amount of funds at this point. We are hopeful that the next round of federal government assistance will include even more funding for programs similar to this. And I would certainly encourage you to reach out to our local members of Congress and our US senators to support any kind of activity that would give more funds like this available. So with that, we are again very excited. The mayor and the city council send greetings. They are here for you. They are listening to you. And please reach out to the city. Let us know how we can help. But in the meantime, we're anxious to kick this over to SBDC to walk you through our Small Business Emergency Grant Relief Program.
Thank you so much, Jim, and good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to try to go through these slides, and give you as much detailed answers as I can. And then I do have the question and answer box open. We will try to answer everybody's questions today, but you will have the opportunity to ask additional questions as time goes forward before the application process opens. So with that, let me get started on the program itself. So what is it? It is open to all Buena Park small businesses in commercial or industrial spaces throughout the city. It's a $10,000 grant program for small businesses that have been affected by COVID-19. And I will go through what that means as far as being affected by COVID-19. There are 51 grants available, and they're available to small businesses with 10 or fewer employees. And the application period is going to start Thursday, May 21st at 8 a.m. and it will close on Friday, May 22nd at 5 p.m. And I'll go through that information again at the end of this. But that is basically what the program is. It's really meant to really help you survive where you're at today and hopefully recover and open your business up if you're not open, or move from a skeleton crew to full operation over the next couple weeks to the next couple months. So what does it mean to have your business been affected by COVID-19? So what you have to be able to prove is that the business has been deemed non-essential and has been forced to shut down by the state or local government, or sales from the business are down more than 25% compared to the previous 3 months, or the business has had to lay off at least one of its employees, or one or more of the employees in the business has contracted COVID-19 while at work. So you have to meet one of these 4 criteria to be able to prove that your business has been affected by COVID-19. So pretty straightforward. My guess is that you're going to fall within those first 2 bullets. You might fall within all 4 bullets. And so we can help you document what that looks like. And so the next eligibility requirement, and this is the one that's going to be a little bit more confusing, but you have to meet what's considered CDBG or Community Development Block Grant eligibility. So 2 different ways to qualify. The first one is probably the most straightforward. So as the current business owner, your household income has to be below 80% of the graphic that you see at the bottom of the screen. So if you are a 1-person household, you have to fit that $71,750 in gross income for last year. You could prove last year if you've done your taxes. You can also use 2018 tax returns, but we do want to validate that off of your tax return. So 2018, if you've done 2019, that's fine too. Or a 2-person household, husband and wife, or, maybe it's, your daughter and yourself, whatever that might be, all the way up to 8 people. So you do have to be at or below that threshold. So that's where you have to fit. Now, if you don't fit as the business owner, then 51% of your employees have to fit within their household incomes. So let's say that you have 3 employees in your business. Well, 2 of them have to fit, their household gross income has to fit into this category. So it will be a self-certification process, and we'll walk you through that at the end. And I know that this will probably be the most cumbersome and the hardest to do and understand, but we will help walk you through it, and make sure that you completely understand what that looks like. There are additional eligibility requirements. So first one, affected by COVID-19. Second one, to fit into CDBG requirements. And then the third one is the business must be physically located in Buena Park. The business must be located in a commercial or industrial space. The business must have an active Buena Park business license for a minimum of 6 months. So it's got to be active, and it has to be active for at least 6 months. And the business will need to obtain a data universal numbering system, or DUNS number. Don't worry, we'll walk you through that once, and you don't need to get that until you've been approved for the grant. So you will need a DUNS number as well, okay? You'll also need to have 10 or fewer employees, including yourself as the business owner. If there are 2 business owners, it's the 2 business owners and then 8 employees. The business must submit the application, all required supporting documentation within 2 weeks after being selected. And if to be able to get the grant. If not, then it's going to move on to the next person. And the business must be in good standing with the city as well, okay? And so this is open for sales tax generating businesses. So nonprofits, unfortunately, do not qualify for this grant itself. If you are a nonprofit and looking for additional funding, our organization can help you try to find capital outside of this program. What can the grant be used for? So eligible activities include rent. It can include your mortgage. If you happen to own the space, it could be your payroll. It could be your utilities, your gas, electric, any other water, trash, all those different types of things, your accounts payable. And then 25% or less of these funds, or $2,500 or less, can go for working capital for you to grow back into your business. So those are really the 4 or 5 things that you can utilize for your business for these $10,000. And you will self-certify on the application itself as to where the dollars are going. And then I'll explain a little bit in just a second of kind of next steps. How are you going to apply for this? So there's 3 different ways to apply. Online at 8 a.m. on Thursday, we'll open up the online application where you can go to buenapark.com/business grant, and you can go directly to apply. It's going to come to our site. So it's going to look a little different. It's going to go through the City of Buena Park into what's called the Orange County Inland Empire Small Business Development Center network. You're going to go into our site, and it will be an online application. If you have all the right documents, and we'll try to get you all of the questions, and we're really kind of giving you all the questions here. It should take you probably no more than 30 minutes to be able to answer all of the questions. But you can fill it out directly online, and it will go directly to us. Or you can download a fillable PDF, fill it out, and send it back to us via my email address. And if you have any questions in that, I can also answer any questions that you might have. And then you can also go to City Hall and drop it off on Friday from 8 to 5 p.m. And you go directly to the city, and they will timestamp it and all of those different things. So a couple different ways that you could do that. So online application through email, or you can drop it off directly through City Hall. Once we've gone through all the applications, everyone in the application pool that meets all the eligibility requirements will make it into a lottery. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a live lottery, and the date is still to be determined. We want to do it as soon as possible, but we want to make sure that we've given everybody an opportunity to get into the lottery. So we want to make sure that we have enough time to vet through all the applications in case there's a few thousand. Might take us a little bit longer than if there's a few hundred. But the live lottery we will do on Facebook Live, and you'll be able to see us. We'll pull numbers out, or we'll pull businesses out and showcase who those winners are. And then from that time, the 51 winners will be determined, and then we'll also have 25 alternates. And so those 25 alternates will be in order as well. And so what we're going to do is, if you are selected, you're going to need to give us these documents to validate everything that everything that was put into the application, so that we can document and certify that all those were above and true and correct. So we're going to need your current business license, so a copy of that. We're going to need your corporate and personal tax returns. If you have 2019, awesome. If you don't, we can also utilize 2018s. We're going to need your profit and loss statements for calendar year to date. So from January through April, we'll need your profit and loss statements. We're also going to need your bank statements for the last 6 months. And we're going to need a copy of your lease or your deed, if you happen to own the space. And then a CDBG self-certification with a 4506. And if I'm talking in code, don't worry, I'm going to break all this down for you. The DUNS number will help you get, it can be a little complicated to get it. We'll help you through it. It's pretty straightforward. And then your EDD quarterly returns to validate your employees and the number of employees that you have and the wages that you pay them. So that's what we're going to need as far as additional documents. We won't need this until you've been selected. So I would say wait, unless you're somebody like myself that's type A, you want to get all this ready. You definitely can do that. But this is only going to be asked for from the people that are selected through the lottery. So the first part of the application, you won't need all these different things. When will I receive the grant? So the hope is that this will be open Thursday and Friday, and it's probably going to take us between a week and a half to 2 weeks to go through all the applications, make them, make sure that we have all the eligible applicants into the lottery. Then we'll pull the lottery, and then right after that, we will personally notify every single person that they have received the grant. And once we receive all the documentation back from them, you'll get the initial payment within 2 weeks of that. So you'll get 50% of the total funds, or up to $5,000, within 2 weeks of getting full approval. And then after that, the remaining 50% of the funds will come to you no less than 4 weeks, but it could be up to 8 or 10 weeks, depending on when your business is up and running and fully operational, and that you can document how those original $5,000 were spent, what they were spent on. Was it spent on rent, on payroll, on utilities? We want to validate that you spent that initial $5,000 before you receive the second $5,000. Okay, so no sooner than 4 weeks, but it could be longer based on how long it takes you to get us all that documentation for the second round, or the second $5,000. If you have questions, I know that we're going through some of this pretty quick, or you're going to hear some things today, and we're going to send you out this recording. We're going to send you out this PowerPoint, and then we'll also send you out some other pieces to some of the additional documents that we were asking for. If you have additional questions, or if you need it in a different language, tomorrow at 11 o'clock, we are going to have the same webinar in Korean. And then at 12 o'clock tomorrow, we're going to have it in Spanish. So we'll have it in 2 different languages. And then on Wednesday, the night before this application process opens, we're going to do it again. We'll try to do it in all 3 languages, but it'll be predominantly in English. And then we'll try to answer all of your questions right before the application goes live on Thursday morning at 8 a.m. And just so that you're aware, this is not a first come, first serve, right? You have from Thursday morning at 8 a.m. until Friday at 5 p.m. to get us your application, right? We want to make sure if you're eligible, you're going to go into the lottery. And so from the lottery, then then we'll pull 51 eligible businesses. So it's not first come, first serve. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to rush to get it here at 8 a.m. On the first day. You have until 5 p.m. on Friday, but 5:01 on Friday, it will not be, you won't receive eligibility into this. So just making sure that you're aware of what this is. If you need help in this, or you need to contact somebody from the city, this is the city's Economic Development Department, 714-562-3586. I hope I got that correct. And then buenapark.com, you can go onto their website directly, or you can contact us here at the SBDC, 657-278-1801. There's our website. And then there's my contact information as well. If you need help filling out this application, you need help with anything else, you can call us directly. We will help you one-on-one through all of these different things, okay? I'm gonna leave some time for Q&A now, as we've gone through most of the pieces, but keep in mind, this is a grant for $10,000, right? So it's a $10,000 grant. The business must have been affected by COVID-19. You must meet the CDBG eligibility requirements. The application is going to open this Thursday at 8 a.m. and it's going to close on Friday, May 22nd at 5 p.m. So you have 2 days to get us this application. Not all the additional documents that we needed, you do not need to have those. This is a pretty straightforward application. It's going to ask you for your contact information on the personal side. It's going to ask you for your business information on the business side. It's going to ask you for number of employees, how you're going to spend the $10,000 broken into those same categories, and a few additional documents pieces of information, but it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to get through. And tomorrow and Wednesday, we'll go through the application itself. The lottery is going to be held on a date to be determined. Selected grantees will have additional documents to turn into us, and the grants will be dispersed in two $5,000 increments. You'll get one up front once you've given us all the information and documented information so that we can validate your self-certification. And then for more information, you can go to the buenapark.com business grant. So with that, that's really the extent of this. And like I said, it's pretty straightforward application. It's pretty quick to get through it. But I'm going to open it up to questions and answers to start with, and then I'll turn it back over to the city to answer anything. But Hannah, if you want to ask the first couple questions.
Yes. So our first question is, how is the maximum income weighted for a nonprofit?
So unfortunately, this grant is only for sales tax generating for-profit businesses. So nonprofits are not eligible for this grant itself. And so if you're looking for other grants as a nonprofit, we can help you try to source some other grants for nonprofits.
All right, the next question is, if you are selected as one of the businesses to get a grant, what happens if you don't use/need the full 10,000? Do the remainders go to someone else? Do you have to return it?
So the point of the grant is to really pay for your fixed expenses over a certain period of time. So, the hope is that $10,000 would go towards rent, whether it be, in the future, the following 3 months, some of your payroll. So my guess is that, 99.9% of the people that are applying for it are going to be able to spend all of it. And there's no certain amount of time that you have to spend it. The hope is that it's going to help you really survive where we're at right now, and then, recover through some of this, and understanding that $10,000 for some can go a lot further than others. But this is the city's way of really trying to help small business, survive and recover where we're all at today.
If I applied for EIDL and not yet approved, am I still eligible to apply for this?
Absolutely, and that is a great question. So if you applied for EIDL funding or you applied for Paycheck Protection Program funding, you haven't received anything, then you can apply for this. What we don't want to do is offset, if you received a significant EIDL loan or you received significant Paycheck Protection Program funding, this isn't meant to also, put more money into your business. We want to help as many businesses as possible, and there's a lot of businesses that didn't get anything. But if you got the EIDL advance up to $10,000, you absolutely can still qualify and still apply for this. But if you receive significant funding, the hope is that you will want to help your other Buena Park businesses by allowing them to apply for this and receive this type of funding.
If I am self-employed with no employees, am I still eligible for this grant?
So you do need to have a number of employees, at least 2 is the minimum qualifier. But if you have some and maybe you pay them a different way, but we will need to document that you did pay them. And so you can still apply. And if you have specific questions, we'll go into deeper questions and answers tomorrow and Wednesday.
Those are all the questions I have. Oh wait, just kidding. Will a construction business located in the city with an active city license qualify?
So we are looking for businesses that are in commercial corridors and businesses that are industrial that are generating sales tax. So let's talk about that offline. That's kind of on the gray areas as to whether you fit or not.
All right, those are all the questions I have.
Okay, and I'd like to open it up to Aaron France and Melissa Duval from the City of Buena Park. They really have put this whole thing together. So thank you so much for all of your support in this, but wanted to open up in case there was questions that maybe I didn't answer completely that maybe you guys have some additional insight to or thought, and then there's still some coming, so.
So thanks, Mike. I'm here with Melissa Dow from our Economic Development Department. And, like the city manager had mentioned, we're just trying to get this money out in the community as quickly as possible. There are some restrictions as we've detailed over the last, 20 minutes or so. I think that, the website has a lot of information. We're also here available here in the Economic Development Department in person. Should anybody have any questions, generally you've laid out the guidelines, and we're expecting a big response. Like I said, we're here to answer any questions from the public or our businesses out there. And I don't know if there are any specific questions that we can answer, but we're certainly available for those.
And Mike, just to clarify, when will the application be available so we can start handing out here in our office?
So so the applications will be in your office on Wednesday.
Okay.
Start handing them out, and we'll have them available online as well on Wednesday.
Okay, great, because we're
And
taking questions on that.
Absolutely, and the applications will be in 3 different languages. So they'll be in English, Spanish, and Korean. So there'll be 3 different languages for people to choose from.
And just the, the lottery, we're hoping to do the lottery the end of next week. So that hopefully gives some, a timeline of how this thing's moving.
Absolutely, and I can answer some of these questions. So the max household income you discussed, is that for 2019 or 2020? So it's really going to be for 2019, since 2020 we're only 5 months into it. So it's going to be 2019. If you haven't done your taxes and you don't have your W-2s, we can definitely take 2018 to validate and verify, and just want to make sure that's okay. City as well. And then what is meant by commercial or industrial? So commercial would be restaurants, retail, hospitality. Industrial may be some type of manufacturing facility. If you're selling carpet or tile and different things like that, would be industrial. So, and if you're not quite sure where you fit, give us a call. We'll help you kind of figure out what that looks like, or, apply and we'll help, the application is pretty quick and pretty straightforward, and we can have that conversation around it. So if there's no more questions, like I said, we will have, and we'll send this out to everybody. We'll have some Q&A informational sessions tomorrow, one in Korean, one in Spanish. And then on Wednesday at 5 o'clock, we'll have an all-incumbency one where we'll go through the application itself and fill it in with you. So, with that, Jim, I don't know if you want to address everybody one more time. No? So we are
just again, on behalf of Mayor Fred Smith and the City Council, we're just really pleased to present this program, and thank you to our partners for helping us implement it. But we look forward to a successful program, and let's get these applications in.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you, everybody. Have a great afternoon. And we are here to answer any questions, and we will get these out to you as soon as possible. So thank you
So much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.